All right, let's dive into a book that really challenges you. Albert Camus's The Stranger. It kicks off with one of the most famous and frankly unsettling opening lines ever written, and it really forces you to take a hard look at everything you think you know about how we're supposed to feel and act.
Right there, that's how we start. It's not just a statement, it's a peek inside the head of our main character, Meursault. There's no big emotional display, no performance of grief, just this cold, oddly precise observation. It immediately tells you, this guy is different.
So that's the big mystery, right? Who is this guy? He's a total stranger to the society he lives in. And you know what? He's a stranger to us too. To get him, we really have to strip away all the layers of social rules that he just completely ignores.
Okay, so to figure Meursault out, first we have to look at all the things he doesn't do. He just refuses to play the little social games that, let's be honest, we all play every day. For him, they're not just pointless, they're fake.
A perfect example is his mother's funeral. Society has a script for this, right? You're supposed to be solemn, you're supposed to cry. What does Meursault do? He drinks coffee, smokes a cigarette, and mostly just feels sleepy. He's more bothered by the intense heat than any feeling of loss. He isn't being cruel, he's just being completely, brutally honest about what's going on in his head and body. His reality just doesn't match the script.
And this attitude bleeds into everything, even his job. His boss offers him a big promotion, a chance to move to Paris. That sounds like a dream opportunity, doesn't it? But Meursault's reaction is basically a shrug. He says one life was as good as another. Ambition just doesn't compute for him. His boss thinks it's a grave defect, but for Meursault, it's just a fact.
And then there's love. Oh boy. His girlfriend Marie asks him to marry her, and he's like, sure, if you want to. But then she asks if he loves her, and his honesty is just staggering. He says the word love doesn't mean anything, so he guesses he doesn't. And that's the key right there. It's not that he's a robot. He enjoys being with Marie. He just refuses to say words he feels are empty. He won't pretend. So, if things like love and ambition are meaningless to Meursault, what is real to him? Well, it's the physical world, pure sensation. And in his world, nothing is more real or more powerful than the sun. From the very first pages, the sun is basically a character in this story, and not a friendly one. At the funeral, he's obsessed with the blazing hot afternoon, how the heat was inhuman. This isn't just weather. For him, it's a physical attack that drowns out everything else. All of this builds up to the novel's turning point on that beach. The heat is described as a physical weight pressing on him. The light is blinding. He feels every hot blast on his forehead. It's a total sensory overload, and it's almost too much to bear. And then comes the final straw. The man he's confronting pulls a knife. But it's not the threat of the actual weapon that gets to Meursault. It's the light glinting off the steel. He sees it as a long, thin blade of pure light that shoots out and stabs him right in the head. It's a physical sensation. And that's his explanation for what happens next, for the murder. It was because of the sun. To everyone else, that's just nonsense, right? It's the excuse of a madman. But for Meursault, it's the simple, physical truth. The sensory assault from the natural world pushed him over the edge. A man dies not for a logical reason, but because of a physical reaction. So we have this senseless murder, but society, especially the legal system, just can't accept that. It needs a reason. It needs a tidy narrative. So Meursault's trial stops being about the actual crime and becomes a trial of his very soul. Think about this. The prosecution barely even talks about the man who died. Instead, they put Meursault's character on trial. They hammer him for his callousness at his mother's funeral, for going swimming with Marie the next day, for not crying. They're literally prosecuting him for not showing the correct emotions. This one moment with the magistrate just sums up the entire conflict. The magistrate is desperate for a rational explanation. He's waving a crucifix at Meursault, screaming, "Do you wish my life to have no meaning?" It's incredible. Meursault's lack of a motive isn't just a legal problem. It's a threat to this man's entire belief system. And that brings us to the core philosophy here: absurdism. It's the clash between two things: our desperate human need to find meaning in life and the cold, silent universe that offers us none. The trial is a perfect picture of this. You have the court, representing all of us, demanding a reason, demanding that things make sense. And on the other side is Meursault, who represents the universe's blank stare. So Meursault is condemned to death. You'd think this would be his breaking point, right? That he'd finally find God or remorse or something. But what happens is so much stranger. Facing his own death, he finally has a revelation. And he doesn't find God. He finds happiness. You can actually see his transformation in a few clear steps. First, he completely rejects the false hope of religion that the chaplain offers him. Second, he accepts the one and only truth he actually possesses. He is going to die. Third, he realizes the universe doesn't care one bit about him or his fate. And finally, in that cold, hard truth, he finds freedom. He comes to this understanding that really we're all on death row, every single one of us. So in the grand scheme of things, what's the difference if you die at 30 or 70? The outcome is the same. It's a dark thought, but for him, there's a real comfort in that absolute certainty. And this is the climax of his whole journey. He stops fighting. He stops hoping for a meaning that isn't there. And instead, he just embraces the universe's total indifference. He calls it benign, even brotherly, because in its not caring, the universe is being honest, just like him. It isn't pretending, and for the first time, he feels like he's in sync with reality. So what does it mean to embrace the absurd? Well, it's kind of like realizing that this giant, complex machine of life isn't a puzzle you're supposed to solve. It's just a guillotine. It's not evil or good. It's just neat, shining, and completely indifferent. And the second you stop expecting it to give you answers, you're finally free. Meursault finds his own strange brand of happiness by accepting a meaningless world, which leaves us with a pretty profound question. If you could strip everything away, society's rules, the search for a higher purpose, all of it, and accept that maybe nothing matters, would you be left with a terrifying emptiness, or would you be left with absolute, total freedom?